Hey guys, what's going on? It's Flip. It's back again with another guide video. Today we're talking about the One-Arm Swordsman gimmick and all the spin-offs and the man behind it, Jimmy Wang Yu. So here is the movie that started it all. This is the One-Arm Swordsman. This is the 88 films release. I think this is the only one in the series that they have released so far. Fingers crossed that they do the other two as well, because we'll talk about that here in a minute. But this film was a massive success, like huge. I think this was the first Hong Kong film to break $1 million Hong Kong dollars at the Hong Kong box office. It launched Jimmy Wang Yu into international fame. He even did a crossover with Zatoichi. My Zatoichi box set's at the top shelf. I can't get it, but this was such a big deal. This film just broke boundaries, and it's honestly a really moving story, and it's a story about redemption and forgiveness at its core, while having some great fight scenes. And so after this movie came out, they immediately wanted to make a sequel, kind of like what Shaw does. They like to crank out these movies. And then they put out, of course, this is the return of the One-Arm Swordsman. This is the sequel. This is the Dragon Dynasty DVD. And this film does some pretty cool things. Obviously, you can tell there are some very unique weapons in this film. I don't think it's as brilliant. Everything from the first film was cranked up to a 10. I would say yes and no. I do think the first one is just so unique, and just I can see why this caught fire. Second one loses a little bit of the charm, but it's still very, very, very good. But Jimmy Wang Yu wanted more money. He wanted, and rightfully so, he was a massive draw at this point. So he actually ended up breaking his contract with Shaw and went on to work at Golden Harvest, where he made the One-Arm Boxer. He wrote and directed it. And then during this time, Shaw was putting out the Flying Guillotine, which then he repurposed and made a sequel called Master of the Flying Guillotine, which is right here, which still features the One-Arm Boxer character. But during this time, Shaw tried to reinvent the wheel, and they put out the new One-Arm Swordsman. This is the Celestial Pictures DVD release. This does have English subtitles, so if you can find this on eBay, you can pick it up and it'll work fine. And the quality's a little to be desired, but this film, I don't like it that much at all, actually. I think the first one is the best, second one is the second best, and the third one just isn't that good. But this is where Jimmy Wang Yu's career gets a little weird. He actually goes to Taiwan and ends up making some B-level movies. And it's really weird to see his career. If like you map out, chronologically when his movies came out, you see One-Arm Swordsman, Return, and then One-Arm Boxer, Master of Flying Guillotine, these massive hits. But I don't know what happened. I've read that he was difficult to work with. I don't know how true that is or not. I actually have the Jimmy Wang Yu collection right here. I mean, he did a lot of other great stuff too, like Beach of the War Gods, which is one of the greatest movies of all time. It's basically a Seven Samurai ripoff. And then the last half of the film is this just massive battle, which is awesome. But he ended up making two films in Taiwan that were complete knockoffs of the One-Arm Swordsman gimmick. So let's talk about the One-Arm Swordsmen. There are multiple men with one arm. So he took this gimmick and kind of ran with it. This film is actually pretty good. Like, it's actually pretty damn fun. I got this for like $1. This is super like cheap to find. I went into this not expecting it to be any good. But there is a charm to these B-level movies that are based on very popular franchises like this, the Fatal Flying Guillotine, which is, where is my copy? Oh yeah, right here. This is on this disc, the Fatal Flying Guillotine. But yeah, it's just that there's like a charm to these movies where the production value isn't that high, and the special effects and the and some of the storytelling is a little gimmicky and a little cheesy, but it really has character, and the fight scenes are really well done. And I think this movie has no right being as fun as it is. And then he made another movie called One Arm Swordsman versus the Nine Killers. This movie isn't as good as the previous one, but it's still really interesting to see Jimmy take this gimmick of having one arm and really just run with it. I mean, he's made other films later in his career that don't have the gimmick, but a lot of the films that I enjoy with Jimmy Wang Yu, he tends to have an arm tied behind his back or to his side or in front of him. So, but yeah, this film, it's all right. I mean, it's nothing special at all, but yeah, that is One Arm Swordsman versus the Nine Killers. And then Choi Hark did a retelling of the One Arm Swordsman tale called The Blade. This is the Warner Archive. I think this is manufactured on demand. So, you know, the quality is gonna vary, but yeah, this is an awesome movie. Incredible film. Absolutely incredible. I think it's just as good as the original, but in its own way and for its own reasons. If you can track this down, I highly suggest it. This is a must own. And yeah, that has been this short little guide to one of my favorite gimmicks in kung fu movies, which is the one-armed swordsman gimmick. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What is a gimmick in martial arts cinema that you just enjoy a lot of? Is it the flying guillotine? Is it the one-armed swordsman? Let me know down below, guys. I'm Flip, and I'll see you next time.